Good morning children. Now today in this topic, in this video, I would like to explain you what is crystal field theory and how this theory has overcome the drawbacks of valence bond theory. So according to the crystal field theory, they have tried to overcome the drawbacks. According to this theory, it has been said that in different complexes, especially in octahedral complexes, like this is the central metal, and in octahedral complex you have seen all the electrons have been arranged in these orbitals. That means you will find that this is having x axis, y axis and z axis. Okay, so in this way all the axis has been used where electrons has been arranged. According to this, you have also studied in class 11th about the orientation or the structure of d orbitals. In d orbitals you have seen the d orbital has been divided. There are 5 d orbitals which were in dxy, dyz and dzx and dx square y square and dz square. And this has been orientated or means their orbitals are arranged. Their orbitals has been arranged according to the axis. Okay, now what happens according to the crystal field theory, when the electron enters into these orbitals, it gets repelled. Okay, repulsion takes place in these orbitals. Now next thing what we have to see is that according to this theory, it has been said that d orbitals which are present, they are having same energy level. You call it as degenerate orbitals. Okay, they are known as degenerate orbitals because their energy level is same. And what happens here, when these electrons which are present in these orbital gets energy, they get excited and come to the higher energy level. Okay, they comes to high energy level. At this energy level, it splits. It splits into two. One having the lower energy, that you call it as T2G. In T2G, there are 3 orbitals present. Okay, and next is EG, where 2 orbitals are present. The difference between the energy of these 2 orbitals is represented by delta naught. This O represent octahedral complexes. That means in octahedral complexes, the splitting of orbitals takes place in such a way. Now here you will find that lower part of this is that is plus 0.4 and upper energy level is 0.6 minus 0.6. Okay, and in this way, sorry children, this part is minus 0.4 and this is plus 0.6. These are the energy difference. That means degenerate orbitals were there as the electron is present here, but due to the attachment of ligand, as soon as the ligand approach these degenerate orbitals, it splits into 2 parts. Okay, the lower part have lower energy level and upper part of the orbitals which has been moved up is having higher energy level. So first of all, you will find that electrons, whenever the electrons you fill in the orbitals, you fill up in the lower energy level. So that means first electron will enter in T2G orbital, then second electron will be entering here, and then third electron will enter here. First 3 electron will enter to the lower energy level. Now the problem arises when the 4th electron comes. 4th electron comes, it either will come and form a pair with the lower energy level, or it goes and get its position in this upper orbital level. Okay. Now why this happens? Whether it is pairing or it is not pairing or giving you the orbital single unpaired electron depends upon the type of ligands that is approaching. Whether strong ligand is approaching or weak ligand is approaching. So this we will study with the help of one table that will help you to understand this concept very well. Yes children, now with the help of this, as I told you, if first 3 electrons are there, those 3 electrons will enter into the lower orbitals. Now higher from D4, D4 means the 4th electron in the d orbital, if it is coming, where it will go? It will go, whether it will go to T2G that we have made in the graph, that at lower energy level, or it will go to upper energy level, upper orbitals having higher energies. Okay, that you will see. 4 electron, the 4th electron, when, as I told you, it depends upon the type of ligand that is attached to that central metal atom. If strong ligand is attached, if ligand is strong, then you call it as low spin complex. Low spin complex when strong ligand is attached. So when low spin complex, that is the extra electron will go into the lower energy level. In order to find out delta naught, that is the energy, total energy required, the change in energy, that is from lower energy to higher energy, that we have seen here like this. If I will take it once again for you children, that is d orbital was there. This was the d orbital, and this was splitting up into these 2 orbitals, and this was splitting up into 3 orbitals. This was T2G and this is EG, and this is the part, and here the change in complex -4, and this is plus 0.6. This one. So depending where the electron, 4th electron is going, whether it is going to T2G or EG depends upon the ligand that I told. So if it is strong ligand, it will start pairing here. The value of delta naught can be found out by the number of electrons. So here you can see there are 4 electrons in the lower energy level. This 4 electron will be multiplied by the energy difference. This because this is the energy difference for the lower energy level. So minus 0.4. When you multiply, you will get one value. Similarly, if the same D4 electron has to be arranged, and you will find that the ligand approaching is weak. If weak ligand is approaching, then you call it as high spin complex. High spin complex means more unpaired electrons you will see. So in that case, the 4th electron will jump to the higher energy level, high spin complex, and going to higher energy level. In order to find out now the delta naught for this compound having weak ligands, so we will see there are 3 electrons present in the lower energy level, that will be multiplied by minus 0.4 plus 1 electron is present on the upper energy level, that is 0.6. So this when you calculate, you will get the one value. So here only you can see the difference when the weak ligand is attached. The delta naught value, that is the total energy between the splitting of the 2, is less as compared to the when it is attached to the stronger one. Here also you can see when the 5th electron comes, same process happens. Strong electron pairing takes place. You can find out its delta naught value, change in energy between the 2 energy levels, lower energy level and higher energy level. When weak ligand is attached, instead of pairing, the 5th electron go to the higher energy level, and similarly you can calculate its delta naught value. Same thing you can do up till D7. You can follow the same concept up till D7. But for D8, what happens when from D8 to D10? You can see children, from D8 to D10, configuration is almost the same. You will see the T2G, lower energy level, will be totally filled, and this T2G will be completely filled, that is, it has been paired also. Now extra electron, 8th electron will ultimately move up in the stronger thing. Okay, 1 was already there, 8 will also start pairing, 9th will also go up, 10th is also going up. So this way the electrons can be arranged. Once again, I will try to make it more clear to you, dear children. In crystal field theory, it tried to tell us about actually the electrons are going to which orbital. Okay, d orbital has been divided into 2 types, part lower energy level and higher energy level. With this, he has said that those electrons going to lower energy level will depend upon the type of ligands which has been attached. And also along with this, when the electrons gets excited, okay, we will talk in this, we can also talk about the color. When the electrons are present in the lower energy level, they are having one different color. as soon as electron jumps, after absorbing some energy, they jump into higher energy level and they will attain a different color. Okay, color also depends upon the number of electrons present as well as what is the actual position, whether they are in the ground state or lower energy state or in the higher energy state. Okay, so this all concept I have taught you about the octahedral complexes. Is it clear, children? Hope you have understood the concept of this very well, and I have tried to explain one more thing. One more thing is left, children, here. Now one more point that you should know is concept is between the values. This value you will find out, this value is delta naught. That is change in energy concept of octahedral complex and pairing energy. Two energies are there. Whether this is the splitting energy, actually you can say that this is the splitting energy that splits the two orbitals into two parts. Lower energy level will have minus 0.4 and this will lowered by 0.4 and upper one has gained energy by 0.6. This is that you will find out the values in this concept. Now another is the pairing energy. Using these two energy also, we can have the concept whether this electron is going to lower energy level or higher energy level. If delta naught is less than P, that means the energy required for pairing electron is more, then ultimately electron will go to higher energy. Okay, that is the splitting energy is less. Less energy is required to split the electron to the upper energy level. So in this way, just to that, if delta naught is greater than P, that means energy required for pairing the electron is more. So why then electron will spend its more energy? So if energy required for pairing is more than the splitting, so ultimately, energy required for pairing is less. In this you can see energy required for pairing is less. Then it will, what it will form? It will start splitting. It will not, it will start pairing if energy of a pairing is less. So in this way also you can understand the concept of crystal field theory. Now another point which is there in the syllabus is the magnetic behavior. Now another point, magnetic behavior depends upon whether it is paramagnetic, diamagnetic or any other magnetic character which an element shows. It depends upon the number of unpaired electron present in it. With this it is very much clear. This crystal field theory clears very nicely that when an element will show diamagnetic character and when it will show paramagnetic, and all to all depends upon the type of ligands that is attached. That only decides whether the electron has to pair or electron has to move up to the upper energy level and thereby forming an unpaired electron is available or not. That decides whether the compound is magnetic in behavior. So these two concepts which was not explained by valence bond theory was made clear very well by crystal field theory. Now children, we will see that how crystal field theory is accepted by tetrahedral complexes. In tetrahedral complexes, how the splitting of orbitals takes place. Here the splitting of orbital takes place in a different manner and the electrons fill up according to the energy levels. Okay, so here you can see this is the d orbital in its ground state. When this d orbital get energy, it get excited state, and in an excited state you have already studied that it splits again and having a difference of this delta naught in octahedral complexes. But in the tetrahedral complex, these two orbitals T2g and Eg again splits. You see, then T2g, then energy level of dxy and dyz, there are three were there. These three were what? Which were dxz, dyz and dxy. These three were here, and here dz square and dx square minus y square. In this way, these two energy levels were distributed in octahedral complexes. Now, these three low energies, which is further splitted, is you see dxy and dxz and dyz attains the lower energy level, more lower than it was having, and dxy attains more higher energy level. Okay, and now from the upper two orbitals, EG orbitals, it is again split into two. dz square attains lower energy than xy. Okay, and dx square y square attains much higher energy. So in this way, depending upon their energy levels or energy acceptance, electrons move to these orbitals, and this comes under tetrahedral complexes. No more much details with any other example is been given in your course. Only the distribution of these electrons or how the splitting of these d orbitals takes place in tetrahedral complex has been explained. So children, with this I have completed all the theories along with that color concept and magnetism related to different theories given by different scientists. Warner's theory, valence bond theory and crystal field theory. Hope you will understand the concept. Try to go read NCERT book along with the videos uploaded and understand the concept and make your concept more clear for the term 2.